Hello and welcome to Bloodhouse, the show where we talk about art house horror films. I'm your host, Joshua Conkle.
And I'm your little wet, slimy co-hostess with the most, Sister Drusilla Adeline.
Why wet and slimy?
I just try to tailor it to the theme of the episode.
Oh, okay, good. How are you?
I'm good. I am coming off a tail end of being as busy as I've maybe ever been.
Yeah, massive congratulations are in order because of your after hours cover for Criterion.
Thank you.
Amazing. Guillermo del Toro tweeted about it. It's big.
I was fully prepared for film Twitter to roast me alive for the fact that it wasn't the poster.
Well, why would it be? It's a new cover.
I mean, that's my thing. So yeah, but like, film Twitter people can be very particular about Criterion covers. Look what happened with Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
Especially with a big movie like that, and this was one that if you looked at any Criterion announcement for the past 2 years, every single comment was, "Where's After Hours? Where's After Hours? Where's After Hours?"
Sure,
so
yeah.
like, finally doing it, I was like, "Oh, this could be bad. People could be pissed," but it was the opposite, and I'm so elated. I'm so happy. I'm also just happy to be done.
Yeah.
Because I worked on After Hours and Targets back to back,
Mm-hmm.
so I am have been like working on them consistently since like December or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very nice to kind of be like, oh, I can kind of relax a little bit. I have other projects in the works, but none of them are as pressing and stuff like that. So I can I can take it easy. I can stop. I can smell the roses. Everything's in bloom in LA right now.
It sure is.
I can watch movies again and not just have them on in the background while I'm working. And that's the most important part.
I really like the original After Hours poster, but whenever a movie comes out on Criterion or Arrow or Vinegar Syndrome or any of these boutique houses, I expect the cover to be different because it's a new release.
It's insanely rare that an original poster is going to be carried all the way through. The only way that I can think of that it makes sense to do that is like Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
Or something where the poster is so stupid iconic that doing anything else just makes no sense. But that's like outrageously rare.
But even that, I would expect like a different color treatment or something. You know, like I would expect an update.
Yeah, and that's important. I mean, it's about bringing that movie to a new audience. You know, a lot of people love the original After Hours poster. I do. It's up in my office.
I see it right behind you.
But like, I also know tons of people that don't like it and don't. It didn't sell them on seeing the movie, and then when they finally saw it and loved it, we're like, well, fuck that poster then. So it's nice to give things a new like coat of paint.
Yeah.
In every sense of the word. And, like, listen, if people didn't do that, we wouldn't have, like, their awesome Repo Man cover or the House cover. Or,
like, I mean...
just sticking with, like, whatever poster was done 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago is lame. And it, like, stifles viewership. So I like getting new stuff in there. And it keeps me employed.
The poster for After Hours that I'm looking at behind you is really great. It's from the 80s, though. It looks like a cool 80s poster. Your art is contemporary, and it's beautiful. And, I mean, I don't know. It's a poster or a cover is like a sales tactic, to your point. And so, like, I don't know.
Well, thank you. It was super fun. But how are you doing, Josh?
I have COVID.
Yeah, bury the fucking lead much. Josh has COVID.
Baby's
He's doing well.
COVID. Yeah. I'm a weekend, but I just tested positive. So yeah, I was supposed to start this 30-day diet with my gym, the Whole30 diet. And so I bought like $300 worth of healthy groceries. And then on day one of the diet, I said to Joel, I was like, I feel weird. And to your point, I was like, it's got to be these allergies. Like everything's blooming. And he's like, I don't know, maybe take a COVID test. And I thought I was just hungry, but no, I had COVID. So I'm starting to cook now, but for like 5 days, I had like $300 worth of healthy groceries, and I was just like Postmatesing chicken tenders and a cheesesteak. Like,
Nice.
it's like the least healthy food ever. So I think that's God's way of telling me, like, you're thin enough. Like, you don't have to do all this.
You are thin enough. You're outrageously healthy, Josh. You're real fucking thin. You're fine.
I have put on a little weight in pandemic, and I don't have abs, but I'm also like 42. Like, what am I supposed to do? I think it's time to maybe just like let it rip and get nice and chunky, eat all the chicken tenders I want. You know.
You take good care of yourself. If you ate all the chicken tenders you want, you would still look great and lean and fit and fine. That's the way your body works, first of all. And second of all, you're always going to take care of yourself and be at least a little active compared to me.
My thing, though, is that, like, my nutrition is really, really bad. And I do work out a lot, but if I worked out the same amount and then ate a healthy diet, I would be like an Adonis or something, but because I'm just eating chicken tenders all day long and cheesesteaks and burritos, it keeps me at like a normal body instead of being gigantic, which, like, I don't mean to fat shame. I hope it doesn't come out that way, but, yeah. Anyway, I have a very unhealthy body view of myself, and, it's demented, and we don't need to talk about that anymore. I just have COVID. That's all. I'm so confused, Drusilla. I feel so weird. But I'm not that
You
sick.
have COVID body dysmorphia. It's a whole thing.
It's
a symptom.
I definitely can't taste anything, which is annoying.
Then what's the point of enjoying a cheesesteak if you can't taste it?
I don't know. Just mass. Putting mass in your stomach.
Jesus Christ.
What's going on? Are you seeing anything cool? Have you been doing anything fun?
Well, a new movie came out, and I am legally obliged to talk about it because it's about vampires.
Ooh, what is it? I don't even know what you're talking about.
There is a new vampire movie out. It's from Universal Pictures. It's the first official Universal movie with Dracula in a few years since Dracula Untold, which is trash. Nicolas Cage is Dracula in Renfield.
Yay! Now, what did you think of it? I haven't seen it yet.
The reviews are crazy mixed.
Yeah.
On it. However, when I was in the theater, I tried to see it in Glendale. It was sold out.
Ooh, that's good news.
And so I had to go to Burbank at a later show.
Mm-hmm.
It was packed to the gills.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was laughing their asses off through the whole movie. Which is great and perfect and absolutely the vibe. For listeners who don't know, it's a new movie. It is basically the dynamic of Dracula and Renfield from Renfield's perspective.
Like an abusive relationship comedy.
Yes. But also a like action horror film.
Yeah.
Nicholas Hoult is Renfield.
Love
Nick Cage is Dracula.
Love
and
him.
He is playing it to the fucking back rooms.
Mm-hmm.
He is like chewing up the scenery with sharpened teeth. It's incredible. And then you also get Awkwafina in there as a like New Orleans cop battling police corruption.
Uh-huh.
Who like doesn't fall in love with Nicholas Hoult, but like forms like a buddy relationship with Nicholas Hoult.
I guess that's how you do cops in the age of ACAB, right? You're like, well, we want to have a cop in this movie, but we really can't. So like, this is a cop that fights corruption in the police department.
Yeah, it's
which
it's
is fine.
A little. It's as propaganda as it could possibly be, unfortunately, but it's still fun and whatever. But it's really weird because at a certain, I mean, it's not really a spoiler, but like she's fighting police corruption, and then like later in the movie, it's revealed that like she's the only cop who's not corrupt, and it's a little like, okay, all right.
I think the trailers are so cute, but I have one hesitation, which is that the superpower aspect of it for Renfield, where he like eats a spider and becomes like Buffy or whatever, that seemed annoying to me in the trailer. And I was like, not everything has to be a Marvel movie. Like, let it just be a comedy.
I agree with you. That is very annoying the way they do it in the trailer. The way it's done in the movie is a little bit better.
Okay.
They explain it in the movie twofold. It's like hinted at that this is just like a fraction of the abilities that Dracula has, because this is the fraction of the amount of life that he's eating or whatever. And like Renfield's been immortal this whole time, as much as Dracula has. So he can have a little bit of the strength of Dracula, but only when he's eating bugs. So that's like just hinted at like detail wise throughout the movie.
Mhm.
But like very early on, he brings it up. He's like, "Oh yeah, I have to eat bugs sometimes to do these things. Don't question it. Don't worry. We're not gonna talk about it." And then they just fly past it. And then another point, someone brings it up, and he's like, "It's best not to think about it."
Yeah.
And that's the logic. It was based the stories by Robert Kirkman, the comic book writer.
Yeah,
who
Walking
created
Dead.
The Walking Dead. It has big comic book energy.
Mm-hmm.
The colors are incredible. It's very Mario Bava lighting
Ooh.
throughout the whole film. Lots of oranges and greens and purples. It's all set in New Orleans. It's very gorgeous. There's a lot of cameos by 80s horror icons. We get Caroline Williams from Texas Chainsaw 2 in there. We also get the lead actor from Fright Night in a small cameo.
William Ragsdale? Is that his name?
Yes.
Yeah, he's great.
And then someone that's not been any of the marketing for this movie, but is like one of the primary villains of the film and one of the funniest performances of the movie is Ben Schwartz.
Oh, I love Ben Schwartz.
From fucking Parks and Rec.
Yeah. Ralph, what's his name?
Jean-Ralphio.
Jean-Ralphio. I keep wanting to say Ralph Macchio.
He's basically playing Jean-Ralphio in
so
this
good at
like
Jean-Ralphio.
Dracula movie. It's got like the energy and vibe of like Birds of Prey or something like that.
Which I loved.
Same.
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, it can be hackneyed at times. It can be silly at times. It can be like generic at times. But like when it's on, it's fucking on. The special effects are nuts. The gore is nuts. They let Nick Cage be in so many prosthetics and look so gross throughout so much of the movie. And just have like whole like big like standard dialogue scenes where like his ears falling off and stuff like it's really nasty, really fun, and honestly, if you go into it expecting like this will be goofy and fun, you're gonna have a really good time. If you like 80s horror comedies, you're gonna love Renfield. If you like Jean-Ralphio in Parks and Rec, and you think he would play really well against Nicolas Cage in Vampire's Kiss, you would love this movie.
I'm so glad that you mentioned Caroline Williams because Dennis Hopper was on my mind because of the movie that we're watching today. So I rewatched Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Oh my God!
Comedy classic, which is such a great movie. I've seen it many, many times. It's one of the rare horror comedies that like pulls off being really scary.
Yeah.
It's scary, but it's also really funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the car chase scene at the beginning where they're like drag racing and Leatherface is like on one car and then the yuppie kids are in the other car. That
listening
whole
to Oingo
is so
Boingo.
scary. Yeah, listening to Oingo Boingo, which is great. The whole first attack at the radio station with Stretch is really scary and great. I have to say my love of it has been tampered with just a little bit because maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I was at a screening of Jennifer's Body at the Egyptian, and it was really cool because Karan Kusama was there and Megan Fox was there. And so it was just like full of people that loved the movie, which of course is classically maligned and has been reappraised. And so everyone here loves this movie. And sitting in front of me and my friends is Carolyn Williams.
Yes.
Which is cool. Of course, we're like, oh my God, that's Carolyn Williams from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. But then she pulls out her phone and starts filming the movie and posting it to her stories on Instagram. And this is like right at the beginning of the movie. So I tweet her, like, Carolyn Williams, get off your phone. I'm at Jennifer's body sitting behind you. And she's like, that's not true. This is all in tweets, by the way. She's like, that's not true, asshole. And then she blocked me. So I have this, like, long-standing beef with Carolyn Williams, even though she doesn't know who I am. I will just say, if this gets to you, Carolyn Williams, do not ever bring out your phone during a movie, ever, ever, ever again, as long as you live. I still love you. I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I'm sorry that you blocked me. I even love you so much that you're in The Legend of Billie Jean, which is one of my favorite 80s teen rebellion movies. So I see you. I love you. Do not bring out your phone ever again.
I mean, I love Carolyn Williams. I know Carolyn Williams. She's super sweet. She's
You know her
nice.
personally?
Yeah.
Well, listen. That was poor behavior, Drew. Bad form.
Yeah, I mean, I've hung out with her a few occasions with friends. She's great. She's sober. She's super sweet. But she's a very out of pocket kind of person, and will just kind of do stuff. And you're like, okay, cool. Like every single time I've hung out with her and another friend of mine, and like the idea of a three-way always gets brought up, like, jokingly, but like way too far, and I'm like, what are we talking about here? What's happening? We're at a movie theater. Anyway, Caroline, yes, I would. Anyway.
You can't have a threesome during a movie at a movie theater. Someone tell Carolyn.
Josh, don't be a cop.
I am a cop when it comes to movie etiquette, by the way. I will tell you how it is. I swear to God. I don't even let Joel look at his phone when we're watching a movie at home.
Don't pull out your phone in the movie theater, kids. But it's okay to have a threesome or make out or get a handy in the theater.
Depends on what it is.
These are the rules.
Yeah. I mean,
okay, if you're watching like Citizen Kane or like Last Year at Marienbad, I get it. It's totally fine to get a handy. It's totally fine to have an orgy for that. But if you're watching Texas Chainsaw 2, no. Dixon pants. Mm-mm. No.
Yeah, takes away. Well, we've already mentioned him this episode, so we might as well get into it. Today we are discussing a film from 1961, directed by Curtis Harrington, starring, in his first ever starring role, the legendary Dennis Hopper. This is, of course, Night Tide.
Night Tide, with its boundless power, ties these two together in a love tainted by strange, sinister terror. The siren song of the sea, pulsating like a bongo beat, calling, driving the sea people.
So you picked this movie. You hadn't seen this, right?
No, I hadn't. This has been one that people have recommended to me for like 15, 20 years. And a movie that I have fucking owned for like 10 years probably. It's been sitting on my shelf forever. I think I've bought it multiple times since there's been like new restorations of it. I love Curtis Harrington. I love early 60s independent horror movies like Carnival of Souls. And Roger Corman movies from this era. I love young Dennis Hopper before he got weird. I love Dennis Hopper when he was weird.
He's very weird in this movie, though.
His performance
is weird.
But he's like not Frank Booth weird. It's a different kind of like innocent weird.
Yeah.
And this movie has a really like special kind of surreal quality that like I'm really glad I finally had an excuse to watch. Yeah, and also just like the poster for this movie is fucking gorgeous, and it's been on my list for that alone for years.
Who did the release of this? Is it a Criterion?
It is not.
Okay.
Kino released it in America like 10 years ago or something like that, but then recently it was restored by Nicholas Winding Refn?
Yes, that's right.
And it was put out by Indicator in the UK, but it was a region-free release, and I bought it, and that's how I watched it.
I ask because there are dodgy versions of it on streaming services. So you have to be careful, listener, where you go. I started watching it on Prime, and it was like a really weird public domain colorized version. And I'd seen it before, so I was like, this is a black and white movie. This is wrong. So I went and rented it somewhere else, and it looked beautiful. It was a restored black and white version. But just be careful where you get it.
It's a public domain film, not unlike Carnival of Souls and a lot of other great ones. So there's a lot of dodgy versions available out there. For better or worse, I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's like Messiah of Evil is like that too. There's like some really weird prints that are ick.
Which is reminding me that I really want to cut together a lot of those public domain movies from that era that kind of have that vibe into something else. Like
that's cool.
Taking Night Tide, Messiah of Evil, and Carnival of Souls and cutting the three of them together into a movie.
That's cool.
Like just those three like mashed up would be super fucking fun. But I digress. Yeah, so I hadn't seen this before. You had, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So you knew a lot more about it than I did, other than like mermaid movie.
I don't think I'd ever finished it though. Not because I didn't like it or anything. It's just like a movie that I'd be in bed and be like, oh, I've always heard about this. Maybe I'll start this, and then I would like fall asleep or whatever. So I think I'd done some version of that like 2 times before finishing it for the podcast. And I actually really like the movie. That's not a knock against the movie at all. It's just a knock against me being old and like starting a movie too late.
That's fair. I started this movie too early that I started to get a little sleepy at the beginning. I had to like get up and walk around my couch. But again, that's on me for being a stupid, sleepy little idiot who goes to bed at like fucking 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what's Night Tide about, Josh? Let the listeners know.
Okay, so Dennis Hopper is a sailor. It's Santa Monica, 1961. He meets a beautiful girl on the beach who he quickly falls in love with, the way that people do in old movies. She works as a mermaid in sort of like a boardwalk freak show, essentially. But she believes that she is a mermaid, and that's what's keeping her from getting close to him. And there's someone following her. It's very mysterious. It's very cat people-ish. And the people who own the merry-go-round tell him that her last 2 boyfriends mysteriously drowned, so he should watch out. And increasingly, he does realize that he's in danger because he's getting close to this woman who believes that she's a mermaid, and it all comes to a head. Does that make any sense?
It's basically cat people with fish. This is fish people.
Yes, exactly. Someone on the Letterboxd called it fish noir, which I thought it was really funny.
Yeah, and she's right to say that.
Yeah.
It's basically what it is. It's very much an atmospheric mood film. And the cinematography is fucking gorgeous. Especially by the end of the movie, there's a lot of close-up shots on Mora, especially her eyes.
Mora's the mermaid, we should say.
Looking upside down or from underwater and stuff like that. That look like Man Ray prints. They just, the level of the black and white, the way that her eyes sparkle and don't move in a lot of shots are just masterful and gorgeous. And the opening shot of the movie is a canted angle of Dennis Hopper and his little sailor whites standing on the boardwalk with the neon signs behind him. And it is so like Pierre Gilles, like gay like porno fantasies.
Well, it's funny that you should say this because this has the same production designer as Kenneth Anger's what's it called, Pleasure Dome, something Pleasure Dome,
the inauguration of the Pleasure Dome.
So this does have like Kenneth Anger vibes to it. There is a very gay aesthetic quality to this.
There's a big connection between Curtis Harrington, the director, and Kenneth Anger. They were both like LA born and bred queer filmmakers who were very entrenched in the Hollywood scene early on in their careers, and then the new Hollywood. Curtis Harrington, for listeners who might know, his other bigger movies are like What's the Matter with Helen, Who Slew Auntie Roo. He made a lot of the kind of hagsploitation movies later in his career. But The Fall of the House of Usher is an experimental film from the early 40s that I'm a really, really, really big fan of. And he had a really spotty, dodgy independent career from the 40s all the way up until like the 90s. He kind of had the most success in the 60s and early 70s with the like American independent movement, and he's one of the most important directors in that, and Night Tide is a really, really important one for that.
Yeah.
It's the reason that Dennis Hopper got interested in making more independent films, and why we eventually got Easy Rider that like broke the mold.
Mm-hmm.
Because Dennis Hopper loved this movie. He was super proud of it. It was on a lot of critics' lists when it came out, despite the fact that it was this cheap little B movie.
Yeah, this is a Roger Corman movie. I mean,
Yeah. But it didn't get played anywhere other than like Corman double bills at drive-ins.
yeah, it was made to be a double bill with The Raven, and this is inspired by Edgar Allan Poe as well. So it was meant to be like a Roger Corman, Edgar Allan Poe double feature. But this is like way artier than it needs to be.
Yeah.
Or that you think, like, I'm sure that artier than Roger Corman assumed it would be. There was an offer for this to be funded by the mob, and Curtis Harrington met with them and was like, they are very charming men, but I felt like if the movie didn't do well, I'd find myself like at the bottom of the LA River with cement shoes on. So we declined that money. It's probably for the best.
Maybe for the best. Honestly, like, the cheap production design and stuff like that is one of the best parts of the movie.
Yeah.
It looks so fucking good. I just love that Dennis Hopper's in his little sailor boy outfit for like so much of the movie.
It's really hot. I'm somebody, look, I have a tattoo. My first tattoo is two sailors making out on my bicep. It's like the first tattoo I ever got. So,
I thought you were going to say the little anchor.
Oh, no, I would love to have an anchor, but I don't have one.
You should.
Yeah.
You should get it on your nice big old bicep. But this, I mean, Curtis Harrington was a gay director, and this is like, I mean, it's a quote-unquote hetero story in the way that Cat People is a quote-unquote hetero story, but this is told from his perspective, so it's a lot of, like, he goes to the fucking bathhouse. There is a scene where he has stayed the night over at Maura's house, but they're very intentionally not sleeping in the same bed. She's sleeping in the bed, he's sleeping on the floor, and he wakes up, and she's like, how are you doing? And he's like, oh, like, I really hurt my back. I'm stiff all over. I'm really frustrated from sleeping on the floor. And she was like, well, you can go to the baths. And he, like, it cuts to, he's down at the bathhouse getting this deep tissue massage by a big burly sailor man.
Who's shirtless for no reason.
Who's shirtless and, like, smoking, like, chomping on a cigar.
Yeah.
And just, like, digging in to Dennis Hopper's back, being like, girl troubles, huh? You come here?
I loved, in that scene, there was another masseuse who says to somebody else, you hear him, this is literally the line verbatim, he goes, want me to pound you out?
Yes. No, he doesn't even
Amazing.
say pound you out, he just says, do you want me to pound you later?
Yeah.
And then the other guy, who is very queer-coded, says, how could I deny a pleasure like that? Are you fucking kidding me?
It's so good.
It's so goddamn good. One of the reasons why I was so excited to see this movie is not just the kind of like ethereal, dreamy 60s surreal independent cycle, which we will get into that. I love those fucking movies, and I loved that about this. I love, and this is such a small subset of movies, underwater horror.
Mm-hmm. Very few of them.
Especially in black and white. So Creature from the Black Lagoon was like a formative horror movie for me growing up.
Which is my favorite of the Universal monsters by a long shot.
I love him. I love Krieg Gilman so much. Sweet good boy.
Yeah.
Deserves nothing but praise and love and attention. And I just remember being horrified and terrified as a child by those underwater sequences. And I love underwater horror movies like that. And of course, I later became a scuba diver. I have my advanced underwater rescue diver's license. I've dove a lot of very, very deep, like sunken, like wreck dives and stuff like that. And so part of the climax of this movie is Dennis Hopper and Maura going on a little like dive off the boat, like just a boat in the middle of nowhere. And it is one of the most gorgeous scenes I have ever seen in one of these kinds of movies. It was absolutely the selling point for me.
Mm-hmm.
This movie can be kind of slow and dreamlike and drifty for a lot of it. A lot of like walking through the boardwalks, seeing ladies dance at like little jazzy hipster beat nightclubs, and like getting information from people. Dennis Hopper doing his Owen Wilson of being
He
like,
is very Owen Wilson-y.
is she a mermaid? I don't know.
I'd like to walk with you, please. He's got such a weird voice in this.
But then out of nowhere, they're like, let's go on a dive together. And it is 10 out of 10, one of the best sequences in the movie. And then it gets fucking terrifying underwater.
Yeah.
And everything that happens after the dive sequence is almost entirely unexplained and brings up more questions than anything else in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The events of the conclusion of this movie leave so much up for debate and up for question.
Yeah.
Should we spoil this movie? It's from 1961.
Sure,
It's-
yeah, it's like 100 years old. Or, I don't know what numbers are. I don't have time to count that, but it's old. Older than me. 60?
Fair.
Yeah,
62.
62.
So on their little dive, Mora suddenly takes out her diving knife from her ankle holster, which, first of all,
Hot girl shit.
hot girl shit. And then cuts his air supply line
Mm-hmm.
to his regulator, and then like pulls the regulator out of his mouth, which they did that stunt.
Yeah.
They fucking did that. That's goddamn dangerous. And he shoots up to the boat and is terrified and is crying. Which I shouldn't laugh. That's an attempted murder.
Sure.
For some reason, it was giving me Alexander Skarsgård and Infinity Pool vibes, and I was just wanting to laugh at him. But then she just swims off nonchalantly into another section of the coral, and then it kind of fades to black, and Dennis Hopper hangs out on the boat for a while, and then eventually returns back to land and locks himself in his hotel room for, based on the amount of newspapers piling up, days on end.
Yeah. And for context, she believes herself to be a mermaid, and she believes that the sea is beckoning. And so she's trying to get him out of the way, I guess, to go back to the sea. Because, as we learned earlier, she was adopted as a little girl in Mykonos, Greece by her caretaker, who raised her basically as his own child. So she believes it's time for her to go back to the sea. There's a mysterious woman that's following her, very cat people-ish, who's speaking to her in Greek. So we don't know what she's saying, but we are led to believe that she's saying, come back to the sea with me.
More or less, yeah.
This movie has... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
This movie has some early 60s things that I love very much. The first is that this opens at a beat nightclub where there's a jazz quartet and people are smoking cigarettes and being glamorous, and that's where he meets her. He insists on talking to her even though she explicitly says, leave me alone.
He then follows her home when she says, no, leave me alone. And he's like, well, I see that you're going that way, so I'm going to go that way,
I'd
and
like
you
to
can't
walk
stop
with
me.
you. Exactly.
It's really gross.
Different times. The other thing is belted swim trunks, which I love. I truly believe they look hot. Dennis Hopper is extremely hot in this movie. He looks great. It's bleach blonde hair and his belted swim trunks and his little sailor suit. Very, Young Girls of Rochefort, the sailor in that movie. And then the last thing that I love from the 60s that you only get in 60s black and white movies, basically, is a beach party with a bongo dance scene. There's a scene where they're at the beach and someone's like, are you going to dance for us, Mora? I guess this is something that she does all the time. And then she proceeds to do the most unhinged dance I've ever seen in my life. And people are reacting to it like she's on Soul Train or something, but what she's actually doing is just demented and off kilter and not on beat and very avant-garde.
Just dancing around the fire pit at the nighttime beach party.
Yeah.
A classic 60s staple.
Very Gidget-y, but weird.
You could describe this entire movie as very Gidget, but weird.
Yeah, it's Carnival of Souls on the beach. Channeled through Gidget.
This movie also has a handful of really gorgeous dream sequences or nightmare sequences, one of which almost instantly reminded me of Multiple Maniacs.
Which one?
Uh, One of them, Dennis Hopper comes back after getting some distressing information about who Maura may or may not be. And he returns to her apartment while she's in the shower, and he like lays down on the couch and is like, "Yeah, I really need to see you," and then promptly falls asleep on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
Watches her come out of the shower and reveals that she has a long tail, a long mermaid tail.
Oh, yeah.
Pins him to the couch, starts like attacking / making out with him,
Yes,
and then turns into an octopus, and then starts like tentacle like wrapping around him on the couch. All it could make me think of was the Lobstora attack in
Totally.
Multiple Maniacs.
Totally.
But it's awesome. It's
awesome.
really, really, really good. And then, of course, it's instantly revealed to be a dream sequence. But we get another one later that gives you, like, the classic, like, Scooby-Doo, like, diddly-doo, 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 like, overlay, like, soft, like, water, like, rippling into the dream sequence later. As he sees her, like, bathing by the rocks, like, gazing into a little hand mirror. It is so Jean Cocteau. It is so Man Ray. It is so stupid gorgeous. And it is so much more connected to the Kenneth Anger of it all. It's so much more connected to Curtis Harrington's, like, experimental films from, like, the 40s and 50s. It is so fucking gorgeous and exciting. And all of those scenes where they're like putting you inside of Dennis Hopper's head rather than just like on this little like noirish journey with him are the best of this movie.
Yeah.
In the end, he returns to the boardwalk for their big 20th anniversary celebration. The boardwalk's been there for 20 years, since the 40s.
1941.
And he goes to see Maura's, like, show where she performs as a mermaid in a tank. And he waits for some kids to stop looking at her tank, and then proceeds to come up and look and finds her dead body just floating in the
on
water.
Display.
And then her, adopted caretaker figure comes in and accuses Hopper of killing her, and then Dennis Hopper kind of admits to it and says, like, how'd you find her body? Where'd you find her? Like,
yeah.
It's really interesting and makes you kind of question what happened in the dive sequence.
Yeah. Well, I think he thinks she must have drowned, right? Because he waits on the boat for her to come back up and she doesn't.
Yeah.
So maybe he thinks that he's drowned her. That's how I read it.
Yeah, because she was only, I mean, they only had like a small tank of oxygen each.
Yeah.
And she swam off and he waited and waited and waited and she never came back. And then the caretaker proceeds to confess to the police that he killed the two boys and that he's had how should we describe it in 1960s parlance? A loving relationship
Yes.
with her since she was young.
Since she was a little girl.
She was a little, and he was terrified of her ever not needing his love, so he made her dependent on it by telling her the story of the mer people. So he basically
gaslighting her into believing that she was a mermaid her entire life. So she was never a mermaid, and she's just been warped by this evil man.
Pedophile.
Yeah.
Gaslighting pedophile.
Yeah.
However, he also, when Dennis Hopper's like, okay, but what about the Greek woman? What about that lady? I'm sorry. The guy's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I never met a woman, never saw a woman. I don't know what women are. And then he's like, take me to jail, please.
So there is like a question mark to all of this. Like maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's really, really nice. And his like kind of quick confession to this, you're not sure if he's just like covering up for someone, if he knows more than he's saying, if he just made up this pedophile gaslighting thing as a ruse to just get the story concluded, or if like he was doing that on top of the mermaid thing. Who's to say?
Do you know, there's an early scene that I loved where she's said, after they meet, she says, "Come to my apartment tomorrow, I'll make you breakfast." And he comes over and she's made like all of these weird seafood things, like a whole fish.
Yeah.
And they're sitting on the balcony, which is just the Santa Monica Pier, actually. And there's a seagull that keeps getting closer. And she's like, "If you're not going to finish that, they're going to get bolder and bolder and bolder until one comes too close." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And then she grabs a seagull out of the sky and is holding it in her arms. And it's a real seagull. And I don't know how they pulled that off, but it was so funny to me. It made me cackle.
This movie is just... Okay, first of all, it's just vibes.
Yeah.
It is almost entirely exclusively vibes, but I really like how far they go to let Dennis Hopper's character be gross and not good. I don't know. I'm still so caught up in the cat people of it all, the fish people of it all, basically. But also, like, I don't see a reasoning for Mora to cut his line and to kill him. So there's still so many questions I have about this movie, and it really like just hums around my brain in a really fun way. It's a movie I like really want to rewatch already.
Mm-hmm.
But like it both like gives you concrete answers and does not answer anything whatsoever.
Totally.
In a really, like, confounding kind of David Lynch sort of way. That I really, 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 really love. I really wish Curtis Harrington had made more films like this after the fact. The rest of his kind of hagsploitation era that followed. He made some more Corman movies. He made Queen of Space, like, basically a proto-alien.
Yeah.
Sci-fi movie.
How do you feel about hagsploitation movies? We've never talked about them on the show, I don't think.
We'll eventually get to them. I enjoy. I think What's the Matter with Helen might actually be my favorite hagsploitation movie.
Yeah, I really like that one
with Debbie Reynolds and Shelley Winters. It's very gay. It's very fun. I really enjoy them on a whole. I love Straight Jacket with Joan Crawford. I like a lot of them. Oddly enough, I fucking hate Baby Jane.
Baby Jane. I remember you saying that on a show once. Interesting.
I don't like it.
Is there a reason? Like, is there like it's offensive to you in some way, or you just don't like the vibe?
It's not offensive. It's a mixture of things. It's like 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
It's way too fucking long, first of all. But also, I don't know. In terms of like the Betty and Joan rivalry, which was entirely fake.
Mm-hmm.
It was made up by gossip columnists to promote that movie when that movie was made. It did not exist before that. And is just, like, continued by, like, white gay men to this day, to the detriment of both of those women's careers. But, like, I've always been more of a Joan Crawford girly.
Ooh, we're on opposite ends of this spectrum.
And that might be why. So I love Joan. I love Joan. I love Joan. I love Joan. I love Betty Davis too.
Yeah.
Like now, Voyager is one of my favorite movies. I love All About Eve. And I love the other hagsploitation movies she made. But like, I was so excited to see that movie because I love both of them, but I mostly love Joan. So seeing Joan being the like put upon one that whole movie, I was just like so annoyed. Like that entire movie, I was like, please, for the love of God, can this be like in the like back half of it, like Joan coming around and like surprise killing Betty Davis or something like that? But nope. It just like for me, Baby Jane is like fun and cute and whatever, but it's way too long and it just beats the same drum the whole movie.
I do love Joan Crawford as Joan Crawford. I do love Joan Crawford as well. One of my favorite old movie is Mildred Pierce, so I love her so much. She's also
a fucking kook. I adore her.
A total kook. I have Betty Davis's record, which like her singing record, which is hilarious because she can't sing at all, of course, and so it's just
neither of them can sing.
It's just her barking over music, basically. It's like spoken word, essentially. It's great.
One of my best friends in the world, Nora McIntyre, is a film essayist and critic, and she is a giant fan of both and has tattoos of both on her body.
Ooh.
And like when she drives around town, the majority of the music in her car is either like Kim Petras and like a lot of like bubblegum pop and stuff like that, or it's like Betty Davis and Joan Crawford and the Marlene Dietrich's like albums and stuff like that, and they'll just be on shuffle.
Yeah.
And you'll go from like a Kim Petras like banger or something like that to like Betty Davis going da, 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 and then to like an Olivia Newton-John song off of the Xanadu soundtrack, and you're like,
Yeah.
what in fuck?
Divas only.
Divas only. I love Nora so fucking much. Nothing but bangers. Yes. So Night Tide is incredible. We have officially knocked off the canon of mermaid horror.
I think between The Lure and this, that's it.
Which I would say an incredible double feature would be.
Great double
these two
feature.
together.
That would be a great double feature for sure.
Mhm.
Shall we pivot to our favorite game? Have they seen it? The game where we speculate wildly whether notable figures have seen this movie. I have someone out of the clear blue sky, no connection to this whatsoever. Do you think Bob Balaban has seen this movie?
That is truly out of nowhere.
Well, here's my train of thought. I was like, and this is wrong, which is why it's out of nowhere. I was like, Dennis Hopper starred in Midnight Cowboy, where he gets a hand job in an X-rated movie theater by Bob Balaban, but it's not Dennis Hopper. Of course, it's Jon Voight.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, it comes out of nowhere, but there was a train of thought that got me.
Bob Balaban is in Midnight Cowboy?
there. Yeah, he has a small role in it.
I need to rewatch Midnight Cowboy. I was trying to think of Bob Balaban roles that involved like water
Yeah, I don't know.
or
if they're-
like sea, stuff like that, and all I could think of was how his character dies in Seinfeld.
He's in Steve Zissou, isn't he? The Life Aquatic with
no,
Steve
he's
Zissou?
not in
He's not.
Life Aquatic. He
Okay.
didn't join the the Wes Anderson cabaret of rotating players until Moonrise Kingdom, when he was like the
Oh,
narrator.
okay.
But he dies by falling overboard off of a small boat after joining Greenpeace in Seinfeld over the love of Elaine Bennis.
That makes sense to me.
It's very funny. They just wanted to kill an NBC executive. That's all that is. I would say that yes, Bob Balaban has seen Night Tide, and I would say that Bob Balaban loves Night Tide, and I would say that Bob Balaban can speak more eloquently on the art, beauty, and meaning of Night Tide than I ever could.
Same, for sure.
I would love to see a roundtable of like Christopher Guest and all of those kind of players just talking about like 60s art films, just like a podcast.
I'm sure
of, like,
Christopher Guest has seen this.
Christopher Guest, Bob Balaban, Eugene Levy, and Michael Hitchcock just talking about like Godard for like
It's
fucking
so
90-minute episodes.
It's so weird to see Christopher Guest and Bob Balaban in that movie Girlfriends from the 70s when they're both like young. And Christopher
Yeah.
Guest is hot in it too.
Yes,
it's
he-
really strange.
Don't say Christopher Guest is hot as if Christopher Guest has never been hot. Do not say that.
I guess when I think of Christopher Guest, I'm thinking of like Corky St. Clair from Waiting for Government.
Do not say that Corky St. Clair is not hot.
Oh my god, Drusilla.
Nigel St. Cloud, Nigel St. Nigel from Spinal Tap is the hottest he's ever been.
It's true.
Let's get, even though he doesn't have the cucumber down his pants.
I find him hot in Best in Show as like the hillbilly with the bloodhound.
Cashew nut.
Cashy. Harlem Pepper, you stop naming nuts.
God fucking damn it.
Okay, sorry.
I love that stupid movie.
so
Okay,
good.
so speaking of good old Denny Hops, sweet Denny Hops, maybe one of his most famous roles to contemporary audiences is of course Frank Booth in Blue Velvet.
Mhm.
As we know, David Lynch hates movies and does not watch movies. Unless it's The Wizard of Oz, he hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
So instead, do you think that Isabella Rossellini has seen Night Tide?
It feels like a movie she has seen. She seems like she would like this.
Absolutely. I feel like if she didn't see it in the 60s or if she didn't see it later, I feel like, because she works a lot with Canadian experimental and surrealist director Guy Maddin.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. They make a lot of projects together. It feels like the kind of thing that you would watch over at Guy Maddin's house.
Yeah, totally.
This feels like very much like a movie that Guy Maddin like watches on repeat and just has like projected on the wall of his bathroom or some shit like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like
Guy
he's,
Maddin's
like,
pool party. This is playing on a projector.
I feel like Guy Maddin lives in like an A-frame ski chalet
Canada, for
in
sure.
Canada, where it's constantly snowing all the time.
All right.
This is not true of Canada, but this is how Guy Maddin lives.
Then Guy
And-
Maddin's hot tub party.
Yes, Guy Maddin's little hot tub party where the steam is rising off of the hot tub, and whenever he's like, I would love to go down to the beach, he just puts on Night Tide and is like, oh,
Heaven.
the warm summer air, as he's like laying out in the frozen like tundra.
Amazing.
I love you, and I love Canada, Guy Maddin. I'm so sorry, but that's an ideal existence. That sounds lovely. Yeah, I think Isabella Rossellini is absolutely saying this.
So, longtime listeners of the show know that I love juvenile delinquent films almost as much as I love horror films. And one of the best is directed by Dennis Hopper, and it's a work that Drusilla did art for at some point, and it's 1980s Out of the Blue, starring Dennis Hopper and Linda Mann, R.I.P. And so I want to know, do you think Linda Mann ever saw Night Tide?
It still bums me out so much that she's no longer with us, because she died very young.
Very young. She was in her 50s? Is that right?
I think so, yeah. I really hope she saw Night Tide. I don't think she would have seen Night Tide around the time that she worked with Dennis, but I feel like there's the possibility that she saw it later, but there's also the possibility that she didn't have a good time on Out of the Blue and was like, no Dennis Hopper movies ever again.
It's a bummer movie, Out of the Blue.
Out of the Blue is
lightly.
a bummer fuck. I literally, after I watched it to work on it, I had never seen it before, it had been recommended to me. I watched it. I immediately texted my therapist and was like, can I move my session up? Like, it triggered me.
It's really triggering, but she's so good in it, and she's just a kid. It's like her and Robin Johnson from Times Square. Like, if they could have done a movie together, heaven.
Oh my god. So we mentioned someone else tangentially. We mentioned a project that was inspired by this person tangentially, who was all about the water, was all about scuba diving, was all about nature, and might know more about mermaids than even Curtis Harrington, about whether they would be real or not. I mean, they're not, but if anyone has any evidence, it's Jacques Cousteau.
Ooh.
Do you think French nautical documentarian and scuba diver and just like all around like the Bob Ross of the ocean, basically, do you think that Jacques-Yves Cousteau ever took a look at Night Tide?
When did he pass away? Do you know?
97.
97. So, well after this. Do we think Jacques Cousteau is like a cinephile? Do we think that he like loved watching movies?
I'm trying to imagine whether he was. I mean, he made movies. He made his little like oceanographic documentaries, and he's French, so I assume he has seen some art films. And I do know that Night Tide was like better respected, obviously in Europe, and like got like I know that a lot of the French New Wave directors liked this movie a lot. So there's that possibility, but there's also the possibility that he's the kind of guy who's like, I only read books.
Right. I want to say yes, though. My gut says yes.
He seems like the kind of guy that I feel like if you went to the estate sale at the Cousteau house following his death, and you went and you saw his like VHS collection, it would only be like Jaws, Creature from the Black Lagoon. Like, it's only underwater movies. Like, it's only like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's only like underwater movies whatsoever.
What if there's the opposite and it was just everything like really banal movies that, to the degree that like it would be like
Air Bud, Beethoven.
Air Bud, Truth About Cats and Dogs, Quick Change.
Quick Change is good.
I haven't seen it. It's just like an old movie that came to mind.
Oh my god. That does remind me that I believe around the time that Ingmar Bergman passed away, some people like documented his house on Faroe Island, which you can now like visit and stay at
Ooh.
as like a thing. But in his like, he had a private screening room and like theater and stuff like that. He had all of his own movies on 35 millimeter, but he also had an extensive DVD library, and they found like Die Hard and White Men Can't Jump in there. He was apparently a really big Die Hard fan.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are. I've never seen Die Hard, but people love it.
Do you know Die Hard's a Christmas movie?
Oh my god. On that note, I think it's time to bounce. Thank you for listening to this episode of Bloodhouse. If you liked it, please rate it wherever you listen to podcasts. You can email us at bloodhousepod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram. Drusilla, where are you these days?
Myself and my art are over at sisterhydedesign.com. And I'm also on Instagram at Hyde Sister. And the same can be said of Twitter if you really want to try me there. I was mostly just on to see the After Hours announcement, TBH. But I'm also on Letterboxd. That's the more important one. See what I see. Watch the world through my eyes. Watch the movies that I'm watching. Follow me on Letterboxd. Also, just Sister Hyde, Drusilla Adeline. I am easy to find. Look for the image of the kissing nuns. Josh, what about you? Where do you lurk these days on the interwebs?
I am at Joshua Conkle on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. So next week we're going back to the present. Does that make sense?
Yes!
We're returning to the present.
In a very Robert Zemeckis way, that makes sense.
Yes. And what are we watching?
We are returning to the Cult of A24, and we are watching Rose Glass's 2019 religious horror film, Saint Maud.
Can't wait. See you then. Bye-bye.